Hello and welcome back to my channel, where today we are going to be looking at my January book haul. Now some booktubers do like these massive 20 stack book hauls, but unfortunately because I'm a broke ass bitch, I can't do those. But today we are going to be talking about the books that I bought this month, or the ones that got to me this month. As you guys can or will see in my library book haul video, towards the end of that video, there was a knock on my front door, and it was the postman who brought me this. Yeah. So in here, there are going to be books that I got while I was on my student placement at the Woodcroft Library. They kind of put me on reading duty, and I was allowed to take books that I wanted. I think there's like 4 or 6 books in here. It's pretty heavy, so I'm going to say it was 6 books. I don't know. Let's get into it. Okay, so I just opened the box to this, and oh my god, that cover is beautiful. Okay, what is in here? I completely forgot what was in here. I know there's a book in here that has it's a hardcover and it's like green and sparkly. It was really pretty. We have Breaking Butterflies, which is a young adult. Before he killed the butterfly, I knew there was something wrong. Something about his eyes. They had been burning, shining bright, so bright and so cold, like the sun reflecting on an icy landscape. Everyone loved those eyes. People were always saying how beautiful they were, how unusual, how completely out of the ordinary. It was the first time in my life that I realized something could be so unusual that it was broken, so extraordinary that something was wrong with it, but I couldn't leave him. Is this gonna be like a trashy teenage romance? I don't know. Breaking Butterflies. Beautiful cover, oh my god. I refuse to look in the box anymore. No, go away. So now we have a How to Train Your Dragon book, which I would have taken because it was dragons. How to Train Your Dragon, How to Betray a Dragon's Hero by Cressida Cowell. Hiccup must become king of the Wild West. Can he dodge the witches, vampires, spy dragons, and steal the king's things back from Alvin before the doomsday of Yule? And is there a traitor in Hiccup's camp who in the end will betray them all? So obviously, because this is How to Train Your Dragon, it is juvenile fiction. I mean, it's a children's book, so we'll go with that. So because it was an ex-library book, the reason it got weeded is because it has some water damage. The spine's a little bit yikes right in the middle here. So that's the sort of thing that we look for when we're weeding books. But I'm still happy to have books like that. I really don't mind. There's another green cover in here, and I think it has a wolf on it. I haven't seen. It has birds on the back. It does have a wolf. A Whisper of Wolves. Oh my gosh, I remember this. This is another teen book, but this one is a teen fantasy. So this book has 213 pages, so I should be able to get through that in a day, probably. When a raven drops a white feather at the doorstep on the day of your birth, it is a symbol of your destiny. You are a whisperer, a guardian of the wild. Many years have passed since the people of Meridina last knew war, but a shadow has settled over the kingdom. When Alice and her wolf companion Storm sense a domestic presence in the forest, they send for help to protect their village. But they're running out of time. With the entire balance of the unnatural world at stake, will Alice and Storm have to face the demons alone? So that is The Whisper of Wolves by Chris Humphrey. Okay, so the next one is Cold Copper by Devin Monk. This is an adult, it has sci-fi on here, but it is apparently steampunk, which I wouldn't be surprised from the cover. Bounty Hunter and Lycanthrope Cedar Hunt, accompanied by Witch, May Linson, and the capricious Matter Brothers, is on the hunt for the Holder, an uncanny device capable of deadly destruction. But then a glacial storm stops his crew in its tracks, forcing them to take refuge in Des Moines, Iowa, a town ruled by the iron fist of Mayor Killian Vosborough and plagued by the steely strange. Cedar soon learns that Vosborough is mining cold copper for the cataclysmic generators he's manufacturing deep below Des Moines, bringing Cedar's search for the Holder to a screeching halt. Now Cedar and his crew must chip through ice, snow, and bone-chilling bewitchment to expose Fosborough's dangerous scheme before he rules the land and sky. So one of my things is to have my own little collection of steampunk novels, and this is actually, I think it's book 2. This is actually book 3 in a series called The Age of Steam. And honestly, depending on how good this book is, I'm probably going to want the other ones because I'm a little hoe for steampunk. This is the hardback with the glittery cover. I was going through and like checking books for damage and stuff, and I pulled this out and I saw the cover and I went, oh my god, that is so gorgeous. And I wanted it and I wanted it and I wanted it. And then as I was doing the weeding, I got to this book and it was on the weeding list and I couldn't believe my luck, so I snatched it. So I'm gonna come close. It actually has glitter on the cover and it's so shiny. Look at that, look at that. There we go. That's how I wanted it to hit. Look at that. I haven't even read the title. It is The Glittering World by Robert Levy. Levy? It is a long way from the grit of New York City to the stark beauty of Nova Scotia. Many years separate Blue Whitley's, only 2 journeys between them. One occurred at 5 years old when his mother stole him away from the hinterlands of Canada to a grubby apartment in Hell's Kitchen, setting him on a wandering path that led from teen years as a club kid to a somewhat more settled existence as a struggling restaurateur. Now 25 years later, he's returning to sell a house left to him by a grandmother he barely remembers. Envisioning the trip as a week of leisure in the countryside, he's accompanied by his best friend Eliza, her stalwart husband Jason, and Gabe, Blue's young and admiring co-worker. Starling Cove, however, is not your typical vacation spot. A mountainous inlet dotted with idyllic woods has always attracted a certain type: artisans and outsiders, burnouts and new age mystics, not to mention those best left unspoken of, except as the other kind. And while few locals admit remembering Blue or his mother, from the start he senses secrets withheld. Strange whispers on the wind welcome him home, pulling him towards the dense, dark pines. First, Blue finds himself staring transfixed into the woods. Then he feels them gazing back. After a shocking discovery that Blue went missing in those forests for weeks as a child, life as he knows it begins to fall apart. Memories bleed back, strange and unrelenting, of that lost time and Blue's connection to his birthplace. And when another abduction strikes, the shattering truth about Starling Cove begins to emerge. Told through each of the 4 characters' points of view, through lush, evocative prose, Robert Levy conjures a fascinating, sinister landscape as the setting for his stunning debut novel. Oh, it's a debut. A unique blend of taut psychological thriller and supernatural suspense. The Glittering World is a story about belonging and betrayal, the mysteries of the natural world and those buried deep within the human heart. So we have psychological thriller and supernatural stuff. Okay. Beautiful cover, sounds amazing, cannot wait to read it. Wow. Excusing the tape on the cover. Ouch, that physically hurts. Look at the spine. The spine is gorgeous. Wow, yes. This is what we live for. And the last book from my Woodcraft, oh, we have more, is The Horses of King Arthur by L.S. Lawrence. Britain, the year 475. The world is darkening. In the darkness, there are those who dream. Artorius dreams of victory over the barbarians who raid the night. And Alexa, half Roman, dreams of breeding the horses that will carry him to that victory. But Alexa's mother has very different plans for her, and will stop at nothing to see them fulfilled. Alexa needs allies, and finds them. Her father's old groom, Syragus, and the mysterious sea captain, Greca. With their help, she will follow her dream wherever it leads. And this is another children's book. The chapter title pages have little horses on them. That's so cute. That's awesome. I have to disturb my kitty who's laying on my books. I'm so sorry. Kitty, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jesus. Go back to sleep. Now 2 of these have sticky tabs on their covers because I have already put them into my TBR. And the sticky notes are the prompts that they're going to fill. So we'll start with the one that doesn't have sticky tabs, and that is, I'm going to screw this title up because I always do, Dragons on the Sea of Night by Eric Lustbader. Honestly, I picked this one up because it's dragons. I love dragons. And the synopsis says, he is the Dai-Sun, the sunset warrior, glorious and terrible to behold. Neither man nor god, yet the power he wields is immeasurable. He slew the Dolmen, the dark angel of chaos. But the Dai-Sun is not invincible. He still has lessons to learn, bitter ones. Along the darkest road of his struggles, the Dai-Sun was aided by his beloved bond brother, Moichi, and in his moments of relief, he earned the love of Chisai. They are his greatest allies, for they are unswerving in their loyalty to him. But they are also his greatest weakness, for each has seen inside his soul and knows how he can be defeated. Now in a world where nothing is as it seems and dangerous ambitions are brutally realized, chaos finds an agent through which it can return and once again challenge its deadliest enemy, the Dai-Sun. And whatever the price, chaos will have its revenge. Now, my only issue with this book is that it's like book 3 or book 5 in a series. So now I'm gonna get the rest of the series. The next book is The Stormcaller by Tom Lloyd. This is book 1 in the Twilight Reign series, and honestly it sounds so great. I only read like the first line or something of the synopsis before I was like, I'm in. Isaac is a white-eye, born bigger, more charismatic, and more powerful than normal men. But with that power comes an unpredictable temper and an inner rage. Feared and despised by those around him, he dreams of a place in the army and a chance to live his own life. But the gods have other plans for the intemperate teenager. Isaac has been chosen, with a capital C, as their heir-elect to the brooding Lord Baal, the White-Eye Lord of the Fallen. The White-Eyes were created to bring order out of chaos, for their magnetic charm and formidable strength makes them natural leaders of men. Lord Baal is typical of the breed. He inspires and oppresses those around him in equal measure. He is a difficult mentor for a boy every bit as volatile as he is. This is a time for revenge and for the forging of empires. With mounting envy and malice, the men who would themselves be kings watch Isaac as he is shaped and molded to fulfill the prophecies that circle him like scavenger birds. The gods are once again beginning to meddle in the affairs of men. So I'm excited to read this, and it's currently my newest unread, but that's the prompt for July, so that's gonna change. I'm so sad about that. I'll fit it in somewhere else. And the last book that I picked up this month, is The Great Gatsby. It's 2020. I thought I would read a book set in the 1920s, and it happened. So I walk into the charity bookshop and I go straight up to the classics section because I was looking for H.P. Lovecraft. In The Great Gatsby, Fitzgerald brilliantly captures both the disillusion of post-war America and the moral failure of a society obsessed with wealth and status. But he does more than render the essence of a particular time and place. For in chronicling Gatsby's tragic pursuit of his dream, Fitzgerald recreates the universal conflict between illusion and reality. There's also notes in the back that like explain certain sections of the book. So yeah, I went to the classics section, I looked for Lovecraft. Lovecraft wasn't there, so I went along a little bit and I found F, and I went, there's like 3 copies of The Great Gatsby. It's on my TBR. I know that I just like put it on hold at the library, but I can tab it. So I can tab this one. So yeah, I'm gonna read The Great Gatsby apparently. So they are all of the books that I got in January. So these are all the books that I got in January. Some of them I technically got in August, but they arrived in January. So now I need to put them all into my personal library catalog. Eventually try to read them all. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see me eventually review those books, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you know when I upload. And I guess go follow me on all my social media accounts. where there will be aesthetic photos of books and also body modification and stuff. Okay, I will see you in the next one. Bye!